Hey guys, so this is the what I'm doing for week 8. What I'll be talking about is how to take your writing that you've been doing and upload it to the internet. I'll be doing this through 3 different methods. So from what I'm going to start with is the website known as Wattpad. It's probably my favorite to use because for writing and uploading my stories because of how it works and how easy it is to use and the general UI that's involved with it. First off, after you've created an account, you can go to Write, and as you can see here, it will allow you to create a new story. So from here, you on the left, you can add a cover if you want, but if you don't, it'll just add some random image to it. It's never anything too bad, just like stock flower images. So first up, you want to set a title. So for mine, I'm going to set it as John's Week 8 story. So next you want to add a description. This will show as soon as any reader pops up and clicks on your story. So I'm going to say that John is writing his week 8 story for Humber College. Next, what you want to do is add some main characters. So I'm just going to say me and also just Greg as well. Then for tags, you can add whatever you want here. So I'm going to say Humber. I'm going to say week 8, I guess. Right. So next, if you want to select the genre, this will help make it easier for a user to find you if they're interested in a certain genre. So I'm just going to set it as general fiction, but what I typically go for is fan fiction. So for my target audience, I'm gonna choose new adult because we're all in college anyway. And so that's pretty much all I need to do here. So I'm going to click next, and from here, this part will be your title. So I'm going to set it as John's Week 8 submission. And this part is where all of the text of the story or chapter will appear. As you can see on the top, it will show whether it's a draft or it's been published and how many words are in it. So from here, what you can do is you can either publish it and it'll be visible to everyone. You can save it, or you can see how it will look to other readers. So for now, I'm just going to save it. You can also select when this takes place as well as add any links to it. Sometimes this is what people use Wattpad for, to link to their art. And also you can see here, you can view any revisions that you have done of this story chapter. So this can be quite useful, as even after I've published mine, I still have gone back for many different reasons to revise certain scenes or chapters, or I've even taken a look at whether I wanted to change the overall story plotline. So from here you can take a look at all the different chapters. And so for here I'm going to select new part, which is also means new chapter. And so if I click this, I can go back to the story and it'll show all of my different chapters that I've done, whether I've published them or not. And any stats that are available, they're both drafts and I just made them, so there are no stats available. But also, you can also view it as a reader would, or you could just delete it. You can also add some story notes, which will allow you to highlight what your protagonist is about. So as you can see here, I've only have one story published. This one actually took me pretty much the whole summer. As you can see, it has 40 chapters, and overall it has about 150,000 words or so. And as you can see here, I have been continually editing it. So you can even change this back as a draft by unpublishing it, but I don't want to do that. I've done that before simply because I wasn't sure about whether I wanted to go with the story outline or not. Another one is fan fiction. I don't use this too much because I feel that it's a bit too strict, but it can be useful, especially if your story you're doing is through Microsoft Word, like how I originally did that Fairy Dimension story. So what you want to do is you go to Doc Manager. So you want to set a title for it, and from here you can then upload any like Microsoft Word or text file that you have. So I'm going to select the document I made for the Fairy Dimension story, and also you can set it as whether it's already set as a story or if it's going to remain as a document, but I don't advise doing that because as you can see, it cannot be converted into a story or chapter. So from here, once you've done that, you can select what kind of fanfiction story you want to do. I'm just gonna set this as a regular for now, and so once you've done that, you can go to the title. So once you've done that, you can select the title, add in a small summary. It's a lot more restrictive than Wattpad's summaries are, so for now I'm just going to leave that blank. You can select the language that it'll be, what rating it'll be, and also what genres it'll be. So I'm going to select adventure and I'm going to select complete. So for here I'm going to select a Fairy Dimension story so that I've added into for the document. And then you can then publish it, so I'm not going to do that simply because it's way too long for one chapter. So for my last one, I'm going to do Quotas. It's a one that I recently got into, and I think I like it better because it's a bit of a mix between fanfiction and Wattpad, and it's also a lot more easier to work with than fanfiction is. So I'm going to do the same as I did before and select fanfiction, and so from here I'm just going to add in a chapter title and some text. So as you can see here, you can also do the same as what I did in fanfiction, which is take a file and add it, or I could also import it from a URL. I think this is helpful for when you want to like take it from another story and you're publishing it across different websites. So I think Quotath is pretty useful in that regard, as I can take my story from Wattpad and then add it. So I'm going to upload the first chapter from my Fairy Dimension story. As you can see, it does take some of what is unnecessary, so like this bottom part. So from here, I'm just going to remove this bottom, and then I'm going to add in, take away all of this part. And so yeah, this does help a lot for when you're publishing across multiple story platforms. But most of all, I still like using Wattpad because of how easy it is to use. And that's pretty much it for my presentation. Thank you for listening.